cancer din sa cartoon.
Ito na yung 49 na slide. Slide number 49.
Anyway, wala. Okay. For the histology of the skin, how many layers of tissues are there in our skin? 5. So what are the 3 major layers? Epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. So identify the layer pointed. Dermis. How about that layer? And then that layer? Epidermis. What type of connective tissue is composing that portion of the dermis? Dense, irregular. How do you call that layer? The reticular dermis, which is also called the deep dermis. And then that portion of the dermis is called papillary dermis. What can you comment about the color of the papillary dermis in comparison with the reticular dermis? It's lighter. Why? Because it is composed of what type of connective tissue? Loose connective tissue. Now, why is it called the papillary dermis? Okay, papilla is finger for Latin for finger. So, mayroong finger-like projections that are produced by the dermis to the epidermis. So, that is one of the finger-like projections. 3. So present in the papillary layer of the dermis is a loose type of connective tissue containing lesser number of collagen fibers. The color of dense irregular is darker than the loose because of the presence of more collagen fibers. Now, let us study the epidermis. This slide is labeled as brown skin. Expectedly, we should be able to see how many strata of cells in the epidermis. Okay. So in thin skin, there should be 4 layers. In thick skin, 5 layers. So identify the layer at the stratum pointed. Stratum basale. Now, what are the characteristics of the cells present on the stratum basale? Okay, that is their activity. They are active mitotically. So actually, the cells from the lower layer, after dividing, will migrate to the superficial layers. Okay? So once they leave the stratum basale, they will lose their capability to multiply. Now, aside from mitotic activity, actually, these cells are still squamous cells. Aside from the squamous cells, what is that other population of cells that may be present in the stratum basale? The ones responsible for the production of the golden brown pigments. Melanocytes. How do you call the golden brown pigments? What is the function of the melanin in, and why are they in the stratum basale? What is the function of the melanin pigments? Okay, absorb UV. So what is the dangerous effect of ultraviolet radiation? Okay, development of skin cancers. Now, strategically, the melanin pigments are located above, let's say nucleus, that's another nucleus. They are located above the nuclei of the squamous cells in the stratum basale. So later, when you reach second year, and hopefully all of you will learn that cancers develop from mutation. Now, mutation can only occur in actively dividing cells. That is why the cells above the stratum basale are not anymore, their nuclei are not anymore covered by melanin pigments. Because they are not actively dividing, they are not susceptible for the cancer-causing effect of the mutagenic effect of ultraviolet radiation. So below the nuclei, there will be no pigments that can be seen. They are located above the nuclei. Now, after the stratum basale follows what stratum? Okay, stratum spinosum. What imparts that name to that layer? Okay, this presence of the spinous processes. Now, unfortunately, our device is not able to demonstrate the spinous processes projecting from the surface of the cells in the pointed layer. What is the junctional apparatus that is responsible for imparting those spine-like processes in the surface? What? That's the apparatus. That's the equipment. We are talking here of the structure, the junctional structure, which imparts that spine-like processes. What is the only junctional apparatus that is present in our epidermis? Desmosomes. So the desmosomes are the ones responsible for the formation of the spinous processes. So there, in your textbook or in the atlas, there are illustrations that will demonstrate the appearance of the spinous processes. Above the stratum spinosum is what stratum? Granulosum. It is called, that layer is called by such name because present in the cytoplasm of the cells in that stratum are what? Okay, what are the contents of the granules? Keratocyanine granules, which will eventually become converted into keratin. So keratin will be deposited in the cells composing the pointed layer, which is called stratum corneum. What are the characteristics of the cells in the corneum? They appear flat. What else? What is absent in the cells in the corneum that is present in the cells below? The nucleus. Okay, so the nucleus, the nuclei are absent in the corneum. That is the microscopic appearance of dead cells. So when cells are not anymore displaying nuclei, they are already dead. Actually, okay, there is a regularity of every 5 to 7 days that our epidermal cells are shedding off dead cells from the superficial layers of the stratum corneum. Correspondingly also, the cells in the basale also multiply every 5 to 7 days in order to replace the detached dead cells in the stratum corneum. So again, for review of the structures that we have discussed, identify the layer pointed. Hypodermis. What type of connective tissue is composed in that layer? Adipose. And then that reticular dermis, which is composed of what type of connective tissue? Okay, dense regular. Now, another structure that you should be able to identify in this slide are those tubular structures. Okay. So we will not be able, actually this is a gland, we will not be able to see the entire length of the gland. We will be able to see more of its cross-sectional view because this is a coiled tubular type of gland. So the gland has two parts, or it has two portions. The secretory, okay, the secretory and then the ductal portions. The secretory portions and ductal portions. That is actually the sweat gland. So let us first study the appearance of the secretory portion. The secretory portion is lined by what type of epithelium? Simple. Compare the appearance of those epithelial cells with those epithelial cells. which one is longer? One that on the left portion or in the right portion? Left, longer, so that those cells should be classified as columnar, simple columnar epithelium. So you always remember this, secretory cells will always be columnar in shape. And then, immediately surrounding the epithelial cells is that it are those flat cells. They possess actin and myosin filaments, and as such, they are capable of contraction, performing contractile function. Now, their basic role is to help squeeze out. When they contract, they will help squeeze out sweat from the secretory cells. They are called the myoepithelial cells. Okay, so let us now study the characteristics of the ductal portions of the sweat gland. So, it is lined by what type of epithelium? Simple cuboidal, and then there will still be the presence of the myoepithelial cells surrounding the cuboidal cells. Okay. Now, the secretory portions are located most of the time deep in the reticular dermis. It is only the ductal portion that goes to the superficial dermis and eventually fuse to the epidermis. Okay? So that should be another cross-sectional view of the ductal portion of a sweat gland. So, secretory portion and then ductal portion. And then those are ductal portions. Okay, identify the part pointed. And then that part, ductal portion. And then that ductal portion is almost already fusing with the epidermis. Okay, let us now study our next slide, labeled palm. So identify, give the specific name of the tissue pointed. Epidermis. And then that should be the dermis. And then that pointed portion of the dermis should be called papillary dermis. And then that layer of the skin should be called hypodermis, or the subcutis. Now, that is epidermis. Identify the stratum pointed. Basale. How about that stratum pointed? What? Very good. Stratum granulosum. And then the most superficial layer, that pink colored layer, stratum corneum. How about that lightly tinted? Okay, stratum lucidum, which is absent in thin skin. And then how about that stratum pointed? Spinosum. Basale, spinosum, granulosum, and then that lucidum, and then corneum. Identify that structure pointed, ductal portion of the sweat gland. And then that structure, yun na lang, secretory portion of the sweat gland. Okay, what you should be able to identify here, the structure or the layer which is not present in the previous slide that we have studied is that stratum lucidum. So notice how thick the stratum corneum is in our palms and soles. So it is much thicker than the 1, 2, 3, 4, remaining layers of the epidermis. What is the significance for the mark thickness in that stratum? Again, provide protection against friction. So let us now study this slide labeled axillary skin. So in the practical exam, when you are asked for layer, it should be dermis, epidermis, or subcutis. Not answer naman stratum. Specifically, I will also ask what stratum is pointed. Okay. So there will be no confusion. Identify the structures pointed. And then those are ductal portions of sweat glands. Now, mabaho ang pawis sa kilikili because of that type of sweat gland present in the axilla. Apocrine. And then the sweat gland that we have studied in the previous slide is classified as eccrine. Now, what are the identifying features of the apocrine sweat gland? What can you comment about the size of the lumen of the secretory border? Wider. And then the cells are much larger and darker in color in terms of their cytoplasm with the eccrine secretory cells. Now, what's the difference between the nature of the secretion and with the nature of the secretion between the apocrine and the eccrine sweat gland? Why will there be development of foul odor in the apocrine sweat gland? It has something to do with the manner of release of sweat. When sweat is released from the apocrine cell, some portions of the plasma membrane will become detached from their site of attachment. So that sweat in our axilla actually contains lipids and phospholipids of the plasma membrane of the apocrine epithelial cells. Now, foul odor develops when the lipids or the phospholipid components of the plasma membrane becomes active by bacteria, which are normally present in our skin. So, secretory portions of the apocrine sweat glands, and then ductal portions of the apocrine sweat glands. So identify the stratum pointed, and then that stratum corneum. Now, identify that structure pointed. Okay, that's the hair shaft, and then the entire thing is called hair follicle. Now, always associated with, that's a cross-sectional view of a hair follicle, always attached to the hair follicles is what gland? Sebaceous gland. What's the difference between the manner of secretion, between the sweat glands and the sebaceous glands? Holocrine. What do you mean by holocrine? The cells die when they release their secretory products in holocrine type of glands. So, oil or sebum will maintain the integrity of the hair. So, yung mga chicken, mga birds, they have larger size of sebaceous gland to maintain the integrity of their feathers. So, cross-sectional view of a hair follicle with its associated sebaceous gland. We will now study this slide labeled scalp. identify that structure pointed? Air shaft. And then the entire thing is air follicle. How about that structure pointed? Separation gland. How about that stratum pointed? Spinosum. Okay. Always associated with our hair. Are those smooth muscle fibers? What is the action of the muscle fiber? Okay, erection of the hair. So that they are called erector pili muscle. Voluntary or involuntary type? Involuntary. So erector pili muscle. Notice that the epithelium of the hair follicle is connected to the epidermis above. Actually, hair follicles are formed by the invagination of the epidermis downwards towards the dermis. What is the specific name of the layer pointed? Papillary dermis. It is composed of one type of connective tissue. How about that layer pointed? It is called the reticular or the deep dermis. It is composed of what type of connective tissue? Dense regular. How about that layer pointed? Identify the stratum pointed. Lucidum. Now this slide is labeled as the Meissner's corpuscles. It is very easy to identify the Meissner's corpuscles because of their strategic location. They are located in the papillary dermis. So that is one Meissner's corpuscle. That is also another Meissner's corpuscle. So they are located in the papillary dermis. That's the close-up appearance of a Meissner's corpuscle. What are the structures present in the papillary dermis? Type of connective tissue is loose, and then that specialized nerve ending is. And then how about that structure? No. Contains white blood cells. Okay, that may be in lymph vessel. So also present in the papillary dermis are blood vessels, from which nutrients and oxygen needed by the epidermal cells are acquired via diffusion from the underlying vessels present in the papillary dermis, because epithelial tissues are vascular or avascular. Identify the structures pointed. Secretory portions of, okay, the sweat gland. And then if those are the secretory parts, those structures should be called ductal. Of what type of sweat gland? If those are the ductal portions, those two structures should be called secretory. Secretory portions of what type of sweat gland? Green. And then identify the cell pointed. Myoepithelial. labeled as Pacinian corpuscle. This is not anymore skin tissue. It's actually that of a salivary gland. However, anywhere in the body, the Pacinian corpuscle will always have the same appearance. So it will be composed of whorls and of neurons and connective tissue cells. So characteristically, its appearance is described as onion bulb-like appearance. So have you tried cutting cross-sectionally an onion? Okay, that is what you will be able to see. That's the Pacinian corpuscle. What type of sensation is captured by the Pacinian corpuscle? How about the Meissner's corpuscle? Like that. How about that? Pressure and vibration. Okay, do you have any questions? So if not, can we use this time to review all the slides that we have discussed for this grading period? Some weekends, okay, you may now borrow your mic.
Oh my God,